Hi and welcome back to today's morning report on Thursday 23rd of April with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Tech Markets. Moving on to euro dollar now, and well, the last couple of days really been fairly indecisive. Look at these two candles here with barely anything to the bodies of the candles whatsoever. That would suggest indecision as to how the market's moving, and nothing really else to be gleaned from that daily chart. The fact that we've been moving sideways, and again even today that we've had a slight move to the downside, but then that's rallied back again. So currently basically flat, just 8 to 10 points down on the euro at the moment. So moving pretty quickly to the hourly chart really, and again last few days have been very messy actually. Very messy, very up and down. You sort of had about 150 pips of downside there, about 130 pips of upside subsequently in the last couple of days, and then back down again. And even in the last hour, it started to turn around again. It still seems as though that this is a fairly indecisive and choppy sideways move at the moment. I think that's sort of going to continue really until you get any real decisive move, maybe on the US data. But there's a significant amount of US data next week that potentially could be moving the market. So perhaps sort of calming down. I mean, we had a bit of weakness early morning today on the back of the Eurozone PMIs, but that, as I said, has turned around in the last hour or so. But we've got the US PMIs this afternoon, the US flash PMI this afternoon, and also the new home sales. So both of those could certainly have an impact on this chart if they surprise in any direction. So we'll still continue to monitor that, but I think that there is still a slight bearish bias, and I think I'm going to retain that bearish bias. You're basically back to, this is the daily chart again, basically back to this 21-day moving average, which is still falling. All the other moving averages falling. Momentum indicator still in bearish configuration. So I'm still retaining a very much a bearish bias to this chart, and I think that rallies ultimately will be sold into as it was yesterday. And I think that anything around that 108 point is generally seen to be as a decent selling area. You're sort of 107.15 at the moment. Interesting that also I've sort of put on this chart. That's the actually, if I zoom out, you can see this. You got the Fibonacci retracements on this chart of the big sell-off from 1035 down to 519, and look at this 38.2%. 38.2% here, this line around 0716 provided the support on the 20th and the 21st. Again, provided the support on the 22nd a few times, and again overnight. If I actually zoom in, you've had that coming in as the basis of resistance, and it's about round where we were trading at the moment again. So that is an interesting pivot level. If you start to trade through that, then perhaps you could start to see a more decisive move above 107.40 towards 108 figure, which again, that pivot level, 108 figure, I've talked about that numerous times in the last few days, 108 figure being a pivot on this chart, and it capped the upside a couple of days ago. So that is your key near-term resistance. But as I said, it's just very choppy, really, this chart at the moment, and no real sense of direction. And that's sort of been backed up by the moves in the last couple of hours. You've had what could arguably be seen as a hammer candle on the hourly chart a couple of hours ago, and then followed by a strong bull candle, so that would be seen as a positive move. So you continue to see the choppy trading, but I would still retain an attitude of looking to sell into any sort of strength. So I wish you good luck in your trading on euro, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you.